Always a pleasure to come your way on Sunday nights with Scorecard on Channel 1 TV. It's been a really good weekend of football activity. In the Premier League, Man United won away from home. A very credible win. Newcastle United, I think, will take the cake for the most surprising result of the round, going to the Hill Dickinson Stadium and getting a resounding 4-1 victory. Not something they've done all season. In the big clash of the weekend, a lot of the neutrals were left feeling a little underwhelmed by the quality of football on display from Chelsea and Arsenal. In the end, the two teams split the points. In Spain, Barcelona doing their thing. Real Madrid, currently in action, are looking a little shaky. We'll visit the Italian Serie A and also the Spanish La Liga to give you a dose of everything that's been happening this weekend. Let's do a quick turnaround. When we come back, I'll introduce my two good brothers in the studio and we'll get today's conversation going. Back to Scorecard here on Channel 1 TV. My two good friends are in the studio. Coach Christopher Nimli, Numo, what's going on?
Charlie, God is good.
Nice. Good to have you here. Dennis, Charlie, what's been the weekend been like?
I feel good.
The man is jubilating over a draw. 10 against Liverpool.
He had a red card, so...
Oh, yeah. But you know, last 2 weeks, when I was talking about Chelsea and we were mentioning beating Wolves, they said that, oh, who is Wolves? Wolves is a smaller... Then we went to... Last week, it was Burnley.
Yeah.
The questions were just Burnley. We went to Tottenham to win. And so what? And then
you did Barcelona in midweek.
Exactly. So we blew Barca away.
Cheeky ease.
Easy peasy. Easy peasy.
You said you did blew Barcelona away.
We blew them away.
Charlie.
Easy peasy.
You see, I like it when they talk like this.
Oh,
we were here when Bayern Munich blew them away. No, but even when you want to greet them, they will be looking somewhere. You just want to greet them.
They say that one is history. They say this is the fresh one.
Coach, didn't we blow them away?
Oh, I didn't argue that.
Yeah, so that's it. So
what I'm saying
so it's just a statement of fact.
When somebody blew you away, that's a fact, isn't it?
Of course, it's a fact.
No. They say that they are a big team. They are giant killers.
No,
PSG.
So you know what you've done? We've switched gears.
Hey.
The project has switched gears.
Oh, Charlie.
So from third gear to fourth gear,
wow.
and then we'll be going to fifth gear very soon.
Charlie,
yeah.
The man says the project has switched gears.
Yeah.
No, I like that. Let's start off on that note at the Etihad. Manchester City were in action against Leeds United. They had suffered defeats prior to this game weekend, so they were hoping to get back on track, and that's what they did. So it was the Phil Foden show, basically. The same Phil Foden everybody fell in love with when he won his MVP crown. Dennis, let me start off with you on that one. They surely need him to raise his level to that standard again if they will compete, because now they are back right behind Arsenal. They need their big men to step up.
Of course, because in recent weeks, it's been all about Haaland. Some weeks ago, scoring goals. I've always mentioned that you find City on second on the log, and I've always said that it's quite deceptive because look at the kind of football they played this season. They've really struggled, to get the goals in, and it's because Haaland has been in very good form, helping them and actually dragging them to that position.
Yeah.
And I feel that it's important for the likes of Phil Foden to come into their own because he's been a pill of himself in recent times, and it's good to see him scoring. I feel that Man City needs a lot of players to come into the game. It can't always be Haaland. Because if you realize, I think in the last 2 games he's not scored.
Yeah.
Because no matter how good you are,
you will score every match.
Of course. And you see, the thing is that it's easy for opposing teams to know that, okay, this is the danger man. He's the one scoring the goals. Probably they can find a way to isolate him. So it's very important for players like Foden to come into their own and also try to, bang in the goals as well. But critically for City, it's been. They've been conceding goals in this particular season, and I feel it's something they have to really work on, especially in that midfield, that anchor area, and also the fact that Nunes is also struggling player at the right back. I don't know why consistently he keeps playing that position, but because it's very obvious that the basic art of defending is not really with him, because you could see
he's decent going forward.
Exactly,
but
and but he's not a good defender.
Yeah.
So I just feel that Pep has to find a way to get the balance out of him and make sure this team is actually in the properly structured, because it's very obvious that in that position where that anchor role that basically used to belong to Rodri and is now held by Gonzalez seems to be a very problematic area right now, because most of the opposing teams, the moment they lose the ball in that position, there seems to be a lot of counter-attack, and something that City has not really been able to handle. So I don't know how long they can keep on outscoring their opponents, because if it's easy to say that they conceded 2 goals but they won the game, but the question is in games where the margins are very, very small, can they find a way to outscore their opponents? So I believe that they have to find a way to fix that situation, because they'll be conceding so many goals. For Leeds United, I think that they basically came to play on the counter attack. That's what they did, and I think they did a decent job. City just found a way to win, and it's big up to them. I think from now it's going to be about how consistent the likes of Foden and those attacking wide players will be. I didn't see so much of Doku in this game, but I believe that for them to actually progress and give
he was busy City, as usual.
Exactly.
No results.
Because there are days that you see him extremely busy running around, but it doesn't really go for him. You don't see the impact. I think those last 2 weeks he had a great game against, I've forgotten the opponent, but he dominated the game and had a major impact. So it's very important for their frontliners to get into the game and get into the groove and at least pile some pressure on Arsenal.
Coach, just to ping off where Dennis ended, City have struggled to close out games this season, conceding a lot of goals, and then they just look like they are hanging on whenever games are ending. This was, such a situation, and then they got an isolated chance and Foden finished. What, in your opinion, could have gone wrong with them? And also touch a bit on their defending for me.
Look, I think they were very lucky to have won this game.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the game critical, especially in that second half, Leeds United by far were the better team. Anytime they went forward, when Danafaka introduced Calvert-Lewin, it gave Leeds something very different. It gave them the opportunity not to stress themselves by building from the back, but to go route one. And Calvert-Lewin, with his stature in the air, virtually bullied every Man City defender. And to me, that was shocking, because you've got Guardiola and the Portuguese Ruben Diaz. These are sizably
pretty
big guys, and they are very good in the air. Although Calvert-Lewin himself is
very imposing guy too.
Very tall and imposing. So tactically, what that meant was that Man City should have realized that and put themselves in a position to pick up the second ball or the loose ball. In that second half, I lost count of the number of times that Leeds United will go route one, and then when the ball drops, the first player to the ball is a Leeds United player. And they kept pushing Man City back until they conceded the goal. Look, we said it. You remember after the first, it was during the very first game, and I said this Man City team would not put fear in anybody.
Nope.
They are a good team, don't get me wrong. But if I compare them to what they were, the quality they used to have, Dennis just highlighted their wing play. Look at that. The falling off from Mahrez and Raheem Sterling, or from Mahrez and Leroy Sané, to who? Doku and who? I don't even know who is playing.
Foden played on that side today, but mostly it's Savinho sometimes.
It's Savinho. Look at the
drop
it's not
off.
even one drop or two. It's about 3-4 drops off of the quality. So teams now look at them and say that, look, these guys, they will not worry us out wide. So if we can focus and compete with them in the middle of the pack, we stand a better chance of going to win games. And again, like he rightly said, I think Foden, not only Foden, the one they bought from Leon, Cherky. And then the Tijani boy, Randers will have to. He started the game yesterday, but as the game went on, he faded away. He started the season so well. As
First
to why
2-3 games really good.
Very brilliant.
All of a
sudden, he doesn't has what it takes to live with the intensity and the demands of the EPL. And another thing that is so shocking to me, Rodri gets injured. Pep had the whole transfer window to sort out that position in the absence. The Gonzalez boy, he's an average DM. He's not the sort of DM who will impose himself Rodri alone can impose and run the show. I'm happy with the way they are treating the Rodri situation. I'm sure, together with the Spanish FA, they've told them, please let's heal him.
Yeah.
Let's heal him once and for all. Don't rush it, because Spain will need him in the World Cup. And Rodri himself will be absolutely devastated if he doesn't go to the World Cup.
Sure.
So I'm told that he's fit, but they want to give it a bit, because those sort of injuries are better healed when you sit out for a longer period and allow your tissues, your tendons all to come together and restore their elasticity. And that is what I believe the problem is. Man City are struggling defensively because they don't press the ball high up the pitch like they used to. That is another
thing. Is gone.
The pressing is completely gone.
It's gone.
Time passed. You cannot bypass the press on the transition. You remember, and we've had the likes of Jose Mourinho and Jurgen Klopp complaining about the tactical fouls.
Yeah.
And teams at the time felt that it was something done intentionally. That when they are playing, they will play. But when you win the ball off them, they will not allow it by fouling. And so Mourinho, Jurgen Klopp, all the other coaches complained to draw the referee's attention to the tactical foul they were committing. And then gradually, that went out to them. But hey, I think the reason why they are struggling defensively is because they now allow teams to transit upon them. And once the transition is done, and you are not as compact and solid as you used to be in the middle, teams will find you. And the manner in which they are conceding some of these goals is extremely very alarming. Look, you could see the way they jubilated yesterday after that folding second or their third goal. I think the one who actually got Foden to pick his spot was Guardiola. He virtually blocked the Leeds United defender. But for him, the defender would have blocked that ball all day. But hey, if you don't hit it, you don't score. If you don't give it a try, there wouldn't be an end product. So you want to credit them. But clearly, from the way Arsenal themselves are behaving, I would have loved for Man City to be as consistent as possible. Chelsea, consistent as possible. Maybe Man United, if they are not, because they are not playing in Europe, a bit more consistent. Liverpool, if they can factor in a bit of form to put together some consistent run, let's make it interesting at the top and let's see how it goes. But so far, Pep cannot say he's a happy man.
Well, Pep Guardiola won't be a happy man, but he will take the 3 points on the day. Let's go to another camp where I think trouble is brewing. This time to the home of Tottenham Hotspur. They took on Fulham Football Club in what was a London derby of its own. In the end, Fulham, who have been struggling quite a bit this season, managed to go to the Tottenham Stadium and picked up all 3 points. Very interesting conversations coming out of this one. But let's get the highlights first. Very few players strike the ball like Kudus Mohammed. A goal like that deserved to be on the winning side. I'm not sure how they ended up losing. Coach, let me start off with you. I'm beginning to get worried about Tottenham. They started off by winning or doing better a lot more away from home, and then the home results were a little sketchy. Now the home results are becoming consistently bad. For a team that doesn't do well at home, clearly you cannot dream about anything in the season.
Not at all. I looked at whatever they've done in the past 3 to 4, 5 weeks. And logically or tactically, when you analyze them, you should be worried. You should be worried because there's no clear foundation. I have always maintained that at this level, your foundation as a team will have to be your defensive structure.
Okay.
Defensively, there has to be a proper structure. Every player having a clear idea. Because there's a system being put out there. How do we defend within the system? Where the ball finds itself, right, left, through the middle, what have you? There has to be a proper structure on the defending of the team. But if you look at them, look at the first goal that they conceded. Chukwueze, who we all know is extremely left-footed, is this time not even allowed to dribble on his left foot, but to dribble.
He managed to come inside.
Come in and dribble, and you ask yourself, where was the defendant? Again, look at the guy who struck the ball. That was the right back.
Came all the way. Had all the space
and
in the
find
world.
himself in front of the D, in front of the box, 18-yard box, and then struck the ball with precision. Again, on the second goal, without a doubt, the goalkeeper is to be blamed. That is why I'm talking about the structure. Fundamentally, as a goalkeeper, when you exit your goalpost and you are the one to get to the ball, normally, you clear it one time.
Yeah.
And the clearance is not back infield, the back to throw. You being the home team, no ball boy, I repeat, no ball boy for Spurs would have thrown that ball back early to Fulham and say, come on, go restart the game. What they would have done, it would have, even if a Fulham player had seen the need to rush to go and pick the ball boy would have thrown a second ball to the pitch to stop it, to allow the goalkeeper to get infield. But the goalkeeper finds himself in an area, in a situation where he shouldn't be. And you ask yourself, the defending, once he finds himself there, naturally, we have the players, one of the players backpedaling to just go and protect the goalpost. But there was 2, 3, 4 touches, but nobody.
I think his players probably expected him to deal with the situation.
Maybe to go to
play to touch and deal with it.
And then safety first, and let them deal with that. But look, these are kindergarten errors. For me, I'm always happy when at this level you commit such mistake and you get punished, because this is the pinnacle of the game. This is the best. I cannot see it getting better than this.
Get better than
so this is the best. So we should not be given such food to eat on a silver platter like that. Let's enjoy every bit of it. You commented on the Ghanaian goal he scored. That is the sort of goals we want to see. Not a simple, cheap giveaway like that. So Spurs under Thomas Strand, they considered 5 against PSG. They considered 2. Last week, they considered 4 against Arsenal. The week before, they considered 2 against Manchester.
They are
drinking goals. That's why I'm
a full-blown drinker.
I'm overly worried about what their foundation is as a team.
I think Thomas Frank will get fired. I just have a feeling.
You see, the problem with him now, just this point that you come in. The problem is that, you see, at Brentford, he was not expected to dominate any form of possession. No so he could form the block and play on the transition, play on the counter-attack. So it made them very difficult to lose games. But once you now find yourself as a Spurs manager, you remember they were never in love with Jose Mourinho because they thought he was stifling the team from actually expressing themselves. Nuno Espirito went there. They felt that his style of football, they don't want to see that. They want to be free-flowing, going at it, left, right, center. So if you're a manager and you went and you find yourself as a Spursman, you should have a balance between attacking and defending. Although the supporters are demanding all attacking, you have to be smart as a manager. You don't throw away your philosophy in line of appeasing the supporters. You don't do that. But these same supporters, if the results don't go in
they'll come after you.
You have to sack him. And already, the news coming out are telling them that the man is not the right man for the job. In the next 2-3 games, if he doesn't revert or if he doesn't get the results to change, don't be surprised if he's the next manager to be sacked.
Dennis?
Yeah. Listen, to be honest, just like you mentioned, I really fear for him. Because the football at times has been terrible.
Terrible.
And if he plays 6 games at home and win just 1, there's a big problem.
It's concerning.
And it's concerning. So, and that's the issue about Spurs. They've actually won just 1 in 6 home games in the Premier League. And nobody's going to take that.
That stadium deserves better.
Exactly. And you see, and that's the thing about the fans are demanding when you play. And you see,
and they spend money.
Exactly. And my issue with him is that the football is not pleasant. You're not getting the results as well. So it's even if probably you're not playing the best of football, but you're actually getting the point. But you're not getting both. That's what makes it difficult for him. But what I've realized with this particular Spurs system is that there are a lot of deficiencies in the team. But even with the coach, I think he's also experimenting a lot. Today is Bergvall playing in midfield. Tomorrow it is Xavi Simons. The next day is somebody else. So you can see that he's not really gotten his core of the team. The only person you see consistently playing at that back line probably is Van der Ven, who is consistent. Romero, when his feet plays, But even with Udogie and then Spence, it's actually not certain because both players are very inconsistent. And I've mentioned clearly that there's one thing about Spurs that they have to sort out: the goal scoring, the strikers. Richarlison will give you goals, but
today they played Kolomwani.
So you see, it tells you that he's not convinced about the front line. So it's Richarlison playing today, the next time is Kolomwani, the next moment is Matthias Tel. And then, Solanke is injured. Mm-hmm. So I think for now, they need to get those players back. Solanke, Madison, because they lack that creativity in midfield. And they are very, exactly, and Kulusevski is very direct.
Very.
We'll give them something else. But I think that for now,
you have to get results and hold out before those
you have to hold out before those guys come back. And I think that you have to find a way to win those games. And and when you look at the posture of some of the players, I don't know if you watched the incident when they lost and then against Chelsea, and the players, some of his players went past him when he was going to shake their hands. So it tells you probably that even the dressing room, there's tension in the dressing room. Yeah. So there are a lot of things he has to sort out. It's good kudos call himself because even prior to that game, he was also struggling. And that's the thing about when the team is not playing well, it affects everybody.
Yep.
So it's good that even though they lost, he was able to score because he got injured. Yeah. From a Ghanaian perspective, I expect him to get more confident after scoring this goal. But for Spurs, they have to get better because the games are kind of taken fast. So I expect that in the subsequent games, they get to get some points because the pressure is on. The pressure is definitely on. Just before we go for the break, I just want to say that for me, the most telling bit is, again, as a manager who enters the red zone to be fired, when you can't get the best out of expensive signings. Kudus Mohammed. Yeah. I feel like a lot of the things that Kudus has done this season has been down to his own brilliance. Exactly. This goal is a clear example. Individual Xavi Simons had a brilliant season with Eindhoven, went on loan, did it with Leipzig. Like, he did it everywhere he went. All of a sudden, he comes to the PL. On that signing, was he coming there in originals? I don't think he was the first choice. He was not their first choice. They actually didn't need him. Because look, I think his role in the team is stifling the progress of Sarr. Even Sarr is not in playing. He doesn't play Sarr. He's the one who should be playing. Exactly. That's what I have. That's the problem I have with him because in that midfield section, he needs to play Sarr consistently. And that's one of the reasons why the fans will turn on you because Sarr is a Tottenham. They've groomed him through their system, and they saw what he could do under Postecoglou. He hardly disappointed. He looks like one of those guys who was ready to break out and become a regular in the team. Of course. All of a sudden, the new manager comes in, brings in players, and it looks like the player is not like he's stagnating. I think it's Palhinha, it's Bentancur, and then Sarr. It's Sarr. Yeah. Well, big questions for Thomas Frank to answer, or else I'm sure that the guys at the top will surely swing the axe very, very soon. Let's take our first break here on the show. When we come back, we'll get to more highlights and then we'll look forward to some tactical breakdowns as well. Stay with us here on Scorecard. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Scorecard here on Channel 1 TV. Let me read a few messages before we get into our next batch of highlights. So, Farouk Headliner from Lakeside says, they keep saying this Chelsea team are kids and are inexperienced, even though this same team have won 2 trophies while still qualifying for the Champions League. People are still looking down on this Chelsea team. We shall see come the end of the season. This one says, I have my doubts if Arsenal can win the title. They just waste their time making so many unnecessary passes in their opponent's goal area. With a better numerical strength, I thought they would have beaten Chelsea very well today. Kweku from La Paz with that one. This one says, good evening, guys. Bravo to the Liverpool team. They have found their winning boots. I beg you. Nobody has found any winning boots, any nuts. Stop that. Nana JC from Koforidua says, it's refreshing to know that my darling club Liverpool won today, and a slot should always bench Mo Salah because Mo Salah doesn't track back, which adversely affects the defensive shape of the team. Liverpool shall rise again. Okay. Keep your messages coming. I'll get to more messages. On that Liverpool note, they were at the London Stadium to take on West Ham United today. It was a good game for Liverpool overall. Isak getting his first Premier League goal in a Liverpool shirt. They kept a clean sheet as well, and Mohamed Salah was not in the starting mix. Interesting stuff there. Let's get the highlights. The pillar of Liverpool's team, and a slot pillar, Cody Gakpo, assist and a goal. Oh my goodness. Let me start off with you, Dennis. Let me take your thoughts on this one first. So, Salah benched. Are you one of those people who
were clamoring for that decision to be made, and does it look like something they should be doing going forward?
Yeah, I think, I always say that, your games should determine whether you're picked for the next game or not. And I feel that what he has done in recent games, he's been performing below par. And for a team that is struggling, you see, that's the thing. When you're losing games, you have to find a way, you have to find change, you have to find an antidote.
Yep.
And there was something that needed to be changed. And it was clear that he was not really performing. And that's the thing about football. When you lose games, then now people try to find faults with your team. Probably he was not tracking back in previous games.
But
because they were winning the games.
The spotlight was not on you.
Exactly. So it happens when you're losing. So, but I feel for Salah himself, actually, I don't think he should be too disappointed. Sometimes there's a bad part, things are not working well, you find yourself in the bench. I think that he's got a quality to come back. So I'm not really, concerned about that. But Liverpool needed that change. And Slot needed to make the call. As to whether he was going to make it was a question, but he made it. And I think that the team had proper structure today. They looked a bit compact. I thought they knew that the team was struggling, and they knew they had to come and win.
Yeah.
So, because I don't know how it would have been if Liverpool had lost today. Trust me. Maybe your man would have been on his way.
Well, he had been given, I think, a 2-game ultimatum to get 6 points. So.
Exactly. So I think what helped them was that they were very compact in midfield, and they didn't give a lot away today. It was good to see Isaac on the scoring today, his first goal. He's gone through a whole lot. And because he's not played a lot of games, you could see that he's struggled in previous games. And it's also good to see Vitz also. You could see he's
in and out
and get it. I think that for some of these players, I don't think there's any doubts about their quality. It's about when they start making the impact. So it's good to see that Anastasia was able to make those big calls, and he had a positive impact on the team. For West Ham themselves, I was disappointed in how they played at home because they've had their own struggles for some time. And West Ham has been struggling for some time now. I remember ever since Moyes left, they've never been the same team. They had the Portuguese coming in, doing his own
Graham
thing. Graham Potter. And they brought in a few players, but they seem to continue struggling. And I feel that sometimes the responsibility falls on these big players. For West Ham currently, players like Bowen, Paqueta, those are the leaders in the team.
I feel like Bowen will be angling for a move soon.
Very soon.
He signed a 7-year contract.
He's captain.
He's a captain, right?
Yeah, Bowen is captain. So to see players like Paqueta do what he did, very stupid. In a game where you're down by
very
a
suspect.
Goal. Exactly, you are down by a goal, meaning that you had everything it took to actually try to equalize the goal in that situation, and I still don't get what you're trying to do.
No, only he understands.
It doesn't make any sense.
Only he understands what he was trying to do.
It's like he was pushing the referee for the red card, and the referee obliged. So it was crazy on his part. But for West Ham, I believe that they really have to improve. They've had some good results in recent games.
They need to find some consistency.
And I think they need to find some consistency. Yeah. But for Liverpool, yes, the change was important, but it's about how consistent they can get.
Coach, you said something about Salah a while ago. You said that Liverpool needed to use him differently because he had lost his pace and his bite. Instead of using him differently, they have asked him to the bench completely. I was just asking Dennis, is this something you foresee them doing continuously going forward, or you think that in the end they will have to find, a proper long-term solution?
I think, let's establish this. At his age and what is required and demanded of him, he should not be allowed to play in every game.
Exactly.
And that is part of the coaching. I repeat, he's by far their best attacking player in this team.
Yep.
So now it is up to Mr. Slot and his technical team to manage the situation. For me, Karen, actually, I don't want to see this as a game that Mohamed Salah has been benched for lack of performance. Because the entire Liverpool team has been shambolic.
Facts.
And if there's anybody who's earned the right to be in this team,
it is him.
It is him.
Yeah.
So I want to look at it as he's the first name on the team sheet, but he should not feature in every game. And once that becomes the established norm, the player himself understands why he will not be starting every game. I think that will go a long way to get him to rediscover his form. Because when we watch the game today, especially in that first half, Liverpool were creating niggles of chances. But Isaac, Gakpo, Florian Wirtz, all of them, none of them had the belief in the goal-scoring instinct to even try the West Ham goalkeeper. And I was telling myself, Salah may be out of form, but if he was there,
He will shoot.
He will shoot.
Yeah.
He will shoot at goal, and he will score. So, benching him or he not starting the game today is not, in my view, an indication that he's lost his position in the team. Salah cannot lose his position in this team.
It will be, in fact,
It will be suicidal, in my view, because those guys up front, they will need Salah to rediscover his form for him to lead them to spread the goal scoring responsibility. It was against a very bad West Ham team. So
That's why I'm curious on if they will continue doing
that
it
is
going
it.
forward.
For example, they play Sunderland in midweek at Anfield. That's going to be
That's
a
a very tough
completely
game.
different test.
Yeah.
Let's see how they go. From there, they go away from home before there'll be the recurrence of some 2 or 3 big games.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, Liverpool as a team, are they defending better?
Nope.
No. Would they lose more games? Yes. So Salah cannot be held responsible for it. But it is a game they needed to win. Look, all hell would have broken loose if they had not gotten a win today.
Yeah.
Because it would have made it, is it 8 or 9 defeats
10 defeats in 13.
in 13 games? That would have been unacceptable.
Yeah.
So it is good they won. At least Arsenal drop point,
Yep.
Chelsea drop point. They add 2 more points to their deficit. So let's see how it goes from there.
Well, let's get into our first tactical breakdown game of the day, and we go to Selhurst Park for this one. We all expected this to be a complicated encounter between Crystal Palace and Manchester United. Palace took the lead in this game, and then United, very spirited, resolute, came back and then managed to get all 3 points at the end of the day. Big time win for Ruben Amorim and his guys. Let's get the highlights, and then we'll go to the tactical board and break it all down. So big time win for Manchester United. It's always good to win on the road, and then even better when it's a comeback victory. Coach, let's get the breakdown.
Having lost against 10 men Everton,
Yeah.
they had to respond, okay? Because look, what happened on Monday was completely unacceptable. You are playing against an Everton team, and not so good an Everton team.
Yeah.
0-0, 10 men. With 10 men, Everton scored. I think they played for 10 men for close to over 60, 70 minutes.
Yeah.
And they could see the game through. So they had to respond. But in this game, okay, the highlight, as we saw, all the Man United goals came from set pieces. The major highlight is actually with the Palace goal, because it highlights how they were able to, if you pause this here, this is Lenny Euro. Look at Mr. Euro. I think at this stage, no, delete. At this stage, if you look at him, this is him. Okay? This is him. This is Mateta. So you can look at the two of them. Clearly, Euro was out of position. The credit must be given to the passer of the ball. What's the name of the English midfielder? Is it Wharton?
Adam Wharton.
Adam Wharton.
That guy is so good.
He picks up the pass in the space. In the space. We call it the cutting edge passes. The pass goes.
Immediately see how many players are taken out when he passes the ball.
Exactly. And Euro, you see, he hesitated. I think he shouldn't have dived into the tackle. He should have just allowed Mateta control, and maybe Delete would have dealt with the position. But Nketia, let me say something here, then we move it on. The rule got changed. You call it what?
The Julian Alvarez
The Alvarez rule. I think that is one of the most unfortunate rules in football. I completely disagree with the rule.
Yeah.
Because why should a dead ball, the ball is not in motion, it is a dead ball. A player going to strike the dead ball commits an illegality from a dead ball, and the player is given a second chance to fix it.
Yeah.
I think FIFA will have to look at this rule
It's a very
again.
controversial.
Very controversial.
Yeah.
You see, if it is a moving ball and he commits an error, and you ask him to fix it, it's allowed.
Yeah.
But it is a dead ball
Yep.
penalty.
You
He
should not-
commits an illegality. Nobody forced him to. a professional player at this level commits an illegality on a dead ball, and the rule says he must be given a second chance
to retake
it. I completely disagree. And I hope the people in football, those who sit down to look at these rules, will look at it against them. Because look, I heard of commentators say this is the first time this has happened this season in the end. Like you rightly said, the Julian Alvarez situation, we all went back there and that was chopped off. And the explanation is that Julian slipped. You slipped on the dead ball, and therefore you must be given a second chance. Did Mateta slip today?
Nope.
No, he didn't slip.
Yeah.
So why give him a second chance?
Very
that was unacceptable. So for me, we have to move away from that. Now let's look at the Zexi goal. Look, it was the first time in the game that Manchester United on the set piece decided not to go long. But the shape of the Crystal Palace defense, as you see on the screen there, they were thinking, or they thought Bruno will actually hit the ball across field like this, into the D. That's what they were thinking. They thought Bruno would go long. But once he didn't go long, Zexi started his position in an offside rule. Then he checked. Bruno raised his hand, and then he went for the first ball. But I was very disappointed in the Crystal Palace goalkeeper. No way should you be beaten from that angle. Dean Henderson.
And that was Zexi's weaker foot as well.
Weaker foot as well.
Yep.
If you roll this and you pause it here, let me roll it, and then you pause it there. Pause. Look at the angle.
Yeah.
All he needed to do was to stay glued to his post. Normally, those days, I remember when we saw the likes of Eddie Ansa and Salifou Ansa when we were kids, he would be touching the goalpost to make sure he's within range.
Yeah. Make sure you don't leave any space between yourself.
No space in between you and the goalpost. And Zexi manages to strike the ball in between. Look at it. Look at it.
Pass in his armpits.
In his armpits. Bad goalkeeping. Again, look at the Man United winning goal from Mason Mount. Again, the same type of free kick. This time around, a bit closer. I think Dean Henderson here thought that Bruno has got the technical ability to bend the ball in over the wall. So he needed to sort out his wall, which he did. Crystal Palace complained on this goal, and I didn't get it. They felt that the referee had whistled too early. The referee should have given the goalkeeper. So watch the goalkeeper here. If you roll this, he settled in, and then I think the replay will show that very, very well. So you see, all of them were complaining to the referee. They didn't believe that should have stood. But if you look at it, they're watching. He stands. So it's play on. I don't get why they were complaining. He sorts out the wall. He goes in the middle, picks up his position, and he waited for the free kick to be taken. The referee blew the whistle. Watch him. Watch him. He's in position, ready to make the save. He had done this, ready to make the save. The problem here had to do with the wall. Look at the way the wall has already completely disjointed. And Mason Mount actually went through the wall. As to why they came out complaining to the referee, I don't get it. Because we can clearly see, look at it. It is a clear indication of a goalkeeper who is ready to make his save. Why he thought that should have been disallowed, and rightfully so, it was not disallowed at United. It's a massive, massive win. A win that makes sure that United, I think 6th or 7th on the league, not too far away from top 4. It's a gradual climb. There are some winnable games. Winnable games.
Are you predicting an unbeaten
Not
run in that
necessarily.
stretch?
I'm saying there are winnable games ahead. So if they can put together some decent run, I think they play West Ham next. There's Wolverhampton in the there's Newcastle. It is the Newcastle one that I think will be very difficult. But if you beat West Ham, beat Wolverhampton, and take 6 out of 9, and let's see where that lands you in the log.
Then it's just snap thoughts on this game before we go for our next break.
Yeah, I think Man United needed to win this game because after that abysmal performance against Everton, they had to react and get a better performance. So I feel that I like the psychology of the team, the fact that they came back in that second half trying to win the game because they were down in the first half, based on how the game went. So it's good for them to have the mentality to believe that you're going to, because trust me, if this was last season, Man United would have lost this game.
They've done a couple of comebacks this season.
They would have, at that ground.
For
Selhurst Park,
very, very difficult place for them to go.
And I think they are not lost here in a very long time.
No, they are not won here.
Palace is he's talking about Palace.
Palace are not lost.
Selhurst Park has literally become a fortress now.
Yes, they are not. I've forgotten the number of games, but they've not won in a very long time. They've not really lost in a very long time. So it actually is good for the psyche of the Man United team. Give them belief in the subsequent games.
Well, we'll take our break in a bit. I just wanted to say something on the side. You know, Dean Henderson was not wearing a cap when the goal was scored, the Zexi goal was scored. I think it was like the sun was in his eyes, and so he went to wear a baseball cap so that like he can keep the sun out of his eyes so he could see. And then he considered the second goal. But I have a theory that goalkeepers who wear baseball caps and Fabi that. Goalkeeper will say baseball cap and Fabi that. Let's take our break here on Scorecard. When we come back, we'll get into our next tactical analysis game. So stay with us here on the show. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Scorecard here on Channel 1 TV. We're about to get into our marquee game of the weekend and our second tactical breakdown, and it was at Stamford Bridge between Chelsea Football Club and Arsenal. In the end, Chelsea suffered a red card, had to play large chunks of the game with a man down. In the end, they still managed to salvage a draw. 1-1 is how it ended. Let's get the highlights and then we'll go to the board for the breakdown. So Robert Sanchez with some heroics there to keep Chelsea in the game. Coach, what do you have for us?
Look, very simple. But before I come here, the actual highlight will be on the goal that Chelsea conceded. But we need to highlight the goal they scored. But truth be told, Nketia, this is one of the most disappointing top liner I have watched in recent times when it comes to the
two teams were playing not to lose.
I don't know. Yeah, you can play
they were playing not to lose
and yet still play football.
Yeah.
Okay? It's football. Play not to lose.
You are overly cautious. You can't play. You're afraid that the least mistake you make, your opponents will exploit
this time
you.
around, overly cautious, yes. But the sort of tackles that we saw.
Yeah.
Look, I completely marveled why Cucurella lasted the entire 90 minutes.
I thought he should have been sent off.
I completely marveled.
He was embroiled in all kinds of actions.
Sort of naturally, knowing that he's already been booked, he should have continued playing with some form of discipline.
He didn't slow down.
But he didn't. I'm shocked why he lasted the entire minute. And that red card by Caicedo, truth be told, I think the minimum will have to be a 3 games.
You definitely get 3 games.
3 games. And look at the way he behaved. After stamping the player like that, then he rather faked it.
Yeah.
As if he was the one dying.
That's a leg-breaking tackle.
Leg breaker. Career-threatening injury. It should not be condoned at all. Now, let's go through the highlight. The Chelsea goal, this is the goal. Look, for me, the only thing I can say here is that you have a team like Arsenal that we know to be very powerful and dominant on set pieces, conceding from a set piece directly from. They will normally be doing this to teams.
Yeah.
But the question is, had Gabriel and Saliba played, would they have conceded from this free kick? I doubt.
How so?
Because these two guys are powerful and they are in the EP. I think they are the most dominant defenders in the league. Once they are there, I don't remember the last time Arsenal conceded from a set piece like this. Because clearly, one of them, and if you look at where Chalobah headed the ball from,
literally standing parallel to the baseline,
just
back of his head.
And then it was back into the back of the net. So there was nothing yet done to highlight the lack of proper dominance in the Arsenal defensive setup at this. So now the most important goal in my view on the day was the goal that got Arsenal back into the game. Everybody, I want to highlight the position of the two guys. When I say two guys, I'm referring to Fofana and Moreno. These are the two guys. At this stage, Fofana can clearly see Moreno. He's inside. But he's also watching where the round object is. Now, when I roll this, and Moreno, the moment the ball went wide, he checks his movement like this. Fofana saw him, and he backpedaled together with him to keep him inside. Watch. So Fofana sees. So this is Moreno. So you see, at this stage,
staying with his marker.
Staying with his marker. Then I don't know what happened. When look at this stage, look at where the ball is. Saka, Timber, Cucurella, Chalobah. This is Enzo Fernandez. This is Garnacho. Chelsea have no danger there. They have everything under control. Now, Saka will now have to show you now how technically gifted he is as a player. which he did. Now, when I roll this,
Let me take him
you
to
will
the
see the
byline.
movement. Look at the movement. Pause this. Now, again, look at Fofana. Look at Moreno. You see?
Now he's lost his marker.
People who were very close together, somebody you could see.
Now he's behind you.
Is behind you. So the only time Fofana deals with this is if and only if the cross is a bad cross. But unfortunately for him,
Cross was wicked.
the cross was the type of cross
That kind of cross you can head into your own
you
net.
can head into your own net.
Yep.
So for me, Fofana will look at this again. Because even here, look at the Chelsea. Look at it. It is 3v3.
Yeah.
Look at here. 3v3, 4v4. But the bottom line here is that there are two Arsenal players in front of the two Chelsea defenders. That if Fofana had seen the need to follow his marker, I think he deals with that situation all day. Now, who was there? It is Malo Gusto and what? Neto. Neto, you and I know, defensively will not hit any ball. So once the cross was good and delicious, look at Fofana. He got stuck in. How is Fofana battling both Madueke and at the same time the Arsenal striker Moreno who scored? So for me, this goal personally, it was lack of awareness on the part of what? Fofana. I believe when he's fit, he's Chelsea best defenders. But he should have seen the need to follow his marker.
And it was disappointing because I thought he had a good game. He had a good game right up until this
The
point.
only time he went to sleep, that was what caused Chelsea.
Yep.
The only time he went to sleep, again, highlighted, where are you going? If you pause it here, look at the Chelsea players there. Look at them. If you can count them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the only situation where you virtually have. This is the only situation where you have. Now look at the two Arsenal players there. They are all what? True on goal. These guys, they're all true on goal. Nobody is stopping them from doing anything. They're on true on goal. Look at Fofana. Rather, when when he was pointing at those guys for allowing the cross to come in, look at his hand. He's pointing at them. Why did you allow the cross to come in?
That's what I was complaining about. I thought that Kukurea should have done a better job, but again, right?
Agreed. But don't forget, this is a player who was playing the entire game on a yellow card.
Yeah.
And
he was being cautious about not picking up an extra card. True.
You don't dive onto Saka. You need to do with
because Saka was actually trying to tease him to go
Get
into a
him
tackle.
set.
Yep. He was trying to tease him to go into the tackle.
So look, yes, I think Chelsea could have defended this better. If only Fofana had read the situation better and tracked the run of Moreno. Look, that guy, he's a very good header of the ball.
Fantastic.
And his movement,
that is the most underrated part of it. He knows how to stay on the blind side of defenders.
Last season against Leicester City, when they were chasing the game, Arteta threw him in. Two fantastic headers.
Yep.
They won
He's
the
done
game.
it for Spain. He does it for Arsenal.
In the Euros.
Yep.
The header that knocked out the host nation, Germany. Something very similar. He was with Rudiger. Then he checked and then saw Rudiger. He just came back, banged into the back of the net. And I think these are the sort of players we want to see showcase their talent in the EPL. So that is all that I have today.
Nice stuff. Let me just let Dennis close out that conversation. Your thoughts on the game generally? Like I said, I didn't enjoy the game overall because of, I think it was too cagey. Both teams felt like they didn't want to lose. But what did you take away from it?
I agree. The first time was very cagey, to be honest. I think that I think that adrenaline of the game actually entered the heads of the players, because I could see that in the first half the battles were consistent. You know, you're not seeing the fluid movement of the ball, and then the passing accuracy wasn't there.
Yeah.
A few of the players losing the game. But I just feel that for Caicedo, I think that he got carried away by the movement. I watched him because he's normally quite calculated with his tackles, and I feel that this is the thing about these big games. If you're not, I'm sure probably you have heard the narrative about him, Declan Rice, all of those, and all of those things. The moment you're not able
overly pumped for the game.
If you get too pumped up for the game, I think that's what got into his head. But for me, in context of the situation, I think it was a monstrous performance from Chelsea. For them to stay in that game against Arsenal,
it was
very well. Yeah,
especially in context of the last time they got a red card when Maresca went on a 3-game substitution spree in 20 minutes.
We were doing a game on the Republic of Football, and then I remember Edwin asking, so coach, having been shown the red card, what does he do? I said, no, he needs to calm down and allow the situation to
play out
because at that stage it was still 0-0. Just do the structural shape changes within the playing body on the field. Don't turn to your bench and begin to do things that you regret. Allow it to play. Of course, he could have. I told that you should withdraw Enzo Fernandez back and then alongside Rhys James and let them hold it a bit and see how it goes. And he did exactly that. Is why they could come back and still feel very solid and then put up the sort of performance.
But I think, to be honest, Maresca deserves a lot of credit. I feel that he's worked on this team. I've seen signs of improvement. And that's why I mentioned that I think this Chelsea team has switched gears. I just feel that
switching gears, you have turned the corner.
Exactly, and I expect more consistent performances. We're going on at least some 5-game, unbeatable run. I smell it.
Anyway, let's move on to other side. Let's switch gears as well, and this time to Spain. And let's go over to the new Spotify Camp Nou, where Barca were up against Deportivo Alaves. Let's see the highlights of that game. Welcome back. So Barcelona getting the job done, really. Lamine Yamal had been criticized for his performance against Chelsea in midweek, came back into this game, scored, assisted. Rafinha was also in the thick of affairs as well. Dennis, let me take your thoughts on this game. Snap thoughts. Barca back to winning ways, closing the gap on Real Madrid, who dropped further points tonight.
I think it's positive for them because after the...
I think Barca go top.
They go top. They go top. They actually go top because
Real failed to win.
They go top.
I think so.
But I think from a Barca point of view, it's positive for them after the humiliation they suffered at Stamford Bridge. Coming, they needed to win this game actually to pile a bit of pressure on Real Madrid, and it's good for them to, at least with their poor form, they still managed to go past. But I just feel that in the La Liga they've been quite consistent, despite their
injuries and all their form,
but they've still found a way to win games, and I think that's the most important thing when you're playing in the league. You have to, no matter your adversity, you have to find a way to go past your opponent, and that's what they managed to do. And I think now they're getting some of the players back.
Barca are top 34, Real Madrid on 33.
Exactly, and for them, I think for them it's even more of a positive for them when they realize that Real Madrid have lost, because this was like an 8-point gap Real Madrid had.
It had a 10. It was 10-point gap.
And it's vanished within a few weeks. So I think it's positive for Barca. I think it's advantage them, in consider subsequent games that are coming.
Yeah. Well, for Real Madrid, like I said, they lost to Liverpool, went and drew against Vallecano, drew against Elche, beat Olympiacos in a game where they were not even dominant, and then have come on to drop points to Girona. So it's been a very shaky run.
That's chaotic.
And the word from Madrid is that the pressure is mounting on Xabi Alonso. There are some factions who say that there are certain players who don't really fancy his leadership. So already he has lost youngsters like Endrick. Endrick is crying for playing time. He's not getting it. Rodrigo feels isolated in that dressing room. He's had his issues with Vinicius Jr. Took him off in the Clásico. Vinicius complained. In the subsequent week, Vinicius apologized apparently to his teammates and left Alonso out of the apology. There's just a lot happening at Real Madrid right now. I just feel like he needs to get his act together and sort it out, because at Real Madrid, things can go south very quickly.
For me, I don't understand why Rodrigo is being treated the way he's been treated. And Hendrick, I don't understand.
Yeah. Hendrick, understandable. Hendrick was injured for about the first 5 weeks of the season.
And he's back.
And then he's back in the team.
And he's not trying to integrate him into the team. He's trying to loan him away.
Doesn't look like they have any plans to play him this season.
And that Carlo Ancelotti, we saw, was a proper goal.
He's rough on the edges, but you can tell that he has talent. I remember his debut. He scored on his debut, actually. Some 35-yard shots from nowhere. I don't know, honestly. Playing time can be brutal at a place like Real Madrid. Let's get the rest of that. AC Milan Lazio ended 1-0 in favor of AC Milan. Just like I promised you last week, we'll bring you the Premier League table at the end of the show, just so you know where your team is. So just bear with me, we'll bring you that table. So hang in there for that. But let's get to more highlights. Let's do back to back, actually. So AC Milan, Lazio, and then Pisa and Inter Milan. So both Milan clubs winning over the weekend. Rafael Leao getting the lone goal for AC Milan. Coach, Milan have not been bad this season at all. The performances have not been dominant, but they are getting the job done, and they find themselves high up the table.
I think the issue here is with the manager, Max Allegri. You dare not step out of his tactical.
In fact, they are top of the table.
Yes,
actually.
you dare not step out of his tactical what?
Instructions.
Yeah. And if you watch Milan play, there's something that he's done that no coach prior to him did at Milan. The fact that Rafael Leao was used as on the left flank by all the other coaches. And Leao defensively will not track back. So this is what Max Allegri has done. He's removed him, or he's taken him from the left, and he's gotten him to lead the line as the number 9.
Yeah.
And therefore, he's brought back players on the wings who will help.
Makes a lot of sense.
It makes a lot of
tall,
sense.
Big guy,
Skillful,
good
very
touch.
pacey, strong with his back to goal, can take on the ball. And then if only he can time his run in the box, like we saw on the goal.
Yeah.
He was there, putting the ball in the back of the net when he's needed. These are the sort of things you get from very well experienced coaches who understand how the Italian league. Most people tend to forget that this is his second spell at Milan. He won the league with them. He went to Juve. He won the league back to back. And then he went back to Juve. Now he's back to Milan. So I think the Italian league, like you rightly says, 28, 28, 27, 27.
Yep.
Keenly contested.
Very.
It's Milan, the two Milan clubs, and then Roma, and then what? Napoli. I think there's a lot more.
AC Milan, Napoli, Inter, and then Roma.
Wow.
Yeah.
28, 28, 27, 27. Just a point separating the top four.
Very competitive.
That is the way you want it to be. And for Napoli, again, the fact that when Kevin De Bruyne got injured, they got on set. I think they lost 2 or 3 games in a row. Antonio Conte is struggling to find the chemistry to bring them together. Now he's been able to do that, and I think they are back on winning games like they used to do.
Let me just take, let me not take points from Dennis. Let me go to the German Bundesliga and do back-to-back highlights. So Bayern beating St. Pauli 3-1, and then there was a big clash between Leverkusen and Borussia Dortmund. So let's get back-to-back highlights. I'll take final thoughts, some messages before we go. Let me take just snap thoughts from Dennis on that Bayern win 3-1. They had to come back from a goal down again.
So just like Barcelona, they also needed a reaction after losing out to Arsenal in the midweek Champions League game. But for the German league, it's pretty clear that Bayern is going to win this title. Because even after how many, they are already 8 points ahead. Ahead of, and 9 points ahead of Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah.
So,
as for Dortmund, forget about them. If Dortmund are 1 point behind Bayern, they'll throw it away on the final day. Don't forget about Dortmund.
So this is more like a straightforward win. And that's the thing. I think even as early as it is now, I still believe that it's a title they will win.
Yeah. Let me bring you the Premier League table. We promised to bring you the table just to give you a sense of how your team is doing. If your team is in the bottom half, it's not my fault. Anyway, let's put the Premier League table over there. There you have it. Arsenal leading the pack, 30 points. You have Manchester City in second, 25. Chelsea, third, 24. Villa, fourth, 24. That's where the top 4 ends. Brighton, Sunderland, United in close proximity. And then you have Brentford finishing the first half of the table. Let's say the second half of the table. There you have a Bournemouth, Spurs, Newcastle in that order. I believe Liverpool were hiding somewhere just before the table itself. So that's where you have it there, your Premier League teams, and then the dreaded line, Leeds, Burnley, and Wolverhampton Wanderers. So that's your Premier League table. That's how your team has been performing. Let me read like 2 more messages and then we'll be out of here. This one says that, how can anyone convince me that Paqueta isn't a gambler? Then for investigate him or bore from Dan Suman. This one's from Dan from Ablekuma. Says, Ben, Arsenal are going to bottle it again. Oh. The focus between the Champions League and the Premier League is indeed a snare. Experience is key, and that is Arsenal's bane. Strong words there. Thank you very much, Coach Christopher Nimley. Thank you very much, Dennis. It's always been a pleasure having you guys on the show. For those of you who texted into the show, made time to watch us and followed it all the way through. We appreciate the effort. Same time next week, Scorecard will be back on your screens.